Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today I'm going to take you along on a little bit of a harvest of my garden, kind of show you what's growing, give you an update on the seeds, and basically enjoy ourselves this evening. It's starting to be fall. I can feel just a little bit of change of temperature in the air. I think it's the second week in August, losing track of time. But anyway, come along with me and let's see what we have to harvest. So the first thing I wanted to do is update you on the seeds that we planted. We planted some Swiss chard, we planted some kale, we planted some beets, and we put them under cardboard. Now we do have a few that have come up. We've also got some purslane, a lot of purslane, but here's some little beets. It's a spotty germination, it looks like, but we did get some to come up. Here we've got a little bit of Swiss chard. Here's another Swiss chard. And some kale. So this worked and I'm really excited, even though the germination was a little spotty. We did not have as good a luck with the peas. We've been watering this well. We've got the quail doing their dust bath over there, so they dig things up a little bit. We did get one pea plant. Maybe there's a second one and a third one, and it's been about 3 weeks. We've got a lot of purslane and weeds that are starting to come up, which doesn't make me really happy. But we're getting some germination, and that is a good thing. Now the first thing I'm going to work on harvesting is my coriander. Now a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just pull this out of the ground and put it on a table up on my patio, and then just harvest it, as I get the time. This time, but that takes a lot of time. I was going to see how well it goes just pulling them off the plants while they're still in the garden. So let's get harvesting and see how much we can get. So what I do is I just pull the seeds off, stick them in a bowl. The seeds fall off really easily. And if any of them fall on the ground, that'll just be more for next year. They'll just reseed themselves. So I'm not worried about them falling on the ground. Now this is what it looks like when I have it in the bowl, after I've harvested it a little bit. And I will link a video up at the top that will show you what I do with coriander after I'm done. I make a meat rub out of it, and I'll use it in cooking. But I'll just put all of this through a colander, pull out all the little sticks, and then I'll have my little bag of coriander that I can use. Now the next thing we're going to harvest are these wonderful heads of dill. I use these when I make pickles, and they're pretty dry right now. They're pretty dry right now, and what I do is I just stick the head in a plastic bag, cut the head off, and then I'll leave the bag open and let them dry in the bag. They'll all fall to the bottom, and then I can use the dill seeds. Now once I'm done harvesting the seed heads, I just pull these up. And they all go to the compost bin. Now the next thing to harvest are going to be my grapes. I'm really excited about these. Let's see what's in here. Okay, we've got some grapes. Let's see if they're ready. I always have to taste them to see if they're ready. Yes, they are ready. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Now grapes aren't the only fruit that's ready. Let's go look at my plums and see if there's something there that's ready to harvest. So here we are with the plum tree. There's one right here. Ah, the birds eat it. Look at that. They took a bite out of it. Doesn't make me happy. Let's see if there's anything else close to being ripe. Here's another one. These are Santa Rosa plums. And I think that's it for the moment. The rest of these are they're not quite the right color yet. Not quite ripe. Let's move on to the ground cherries and see what we have here. Okay, there's one. Let's see if it'll fall off easy. It fell off easily. Let's see what color it is. Oh, look at the color on that. It is absolutely gorgeous. Let's see if there's any more underneath. Hey, we've got a few. Ah, that looks wonderful. That is so much fun to see that. There's a strawberry. We haven't gotten a lot of strawberries this year. I've got to tear out this patch. It's just not doing well. I'm going to tear out the patch and redo the soil. Let's move on to the cherry tomatoes. Now that we've got the cherry tomatoes done, let's work on the banana peppers. These have made some really wonderful pickled peppers. Aren't those gorgeous? Let's see what we have in here. Thought I saw some really nice cucumbers. Look at this one. This is a Market More cucumber, one of my favorites. So the next thing I'd like to look at is a paprika. We've got a lot of little paprikas, not quite ripe yet. Some bigger ones that aren't quite ripe. And look at this. Got a ripe one. Aren't those gorgeous? So what I do is I chop them up, dry them up in my dehydrator, and then grind them up and make paprika. The last thing I want to look at is our Candace Grapes. Now these are the best flavored grapes, I think. Look at the color on those. Let's taste it and see what it tastes like. Color's getting nice. They need to get a little bit darker. They're really tart still. And I can tell that they're not quite ripe yet, because when they're ripe, they're covered in hornets. I usually have to come out here with a headlamp and a stick, knock the hornets off, and then harvest them. Yeah, when they get ripe, the hornets love them. What they do is they bite into them, suck the juices out, and leave just husks. So I have to be really careful and get out here before they destroy my crop. But these are great, and I love to make raisins out of these. These make the very best raisins, and they're best for the fresh eating. We have another variety over here that I just noticed. This is the Swenson Red. They're not ripe yet. These come much later. Well, very tart. But the hornets love these too, and there's a ton of them in here. These are seeded, and I make juice with these. They make excellent juice. So let's look and see what we got for our garden harvest. We got our cherry tomatoes and a little bit of ground cherries in here that I really love. Got our himrod grapes that are sweet and ready to go. A little bit of coriander. I'll finish harvesting that later. It takes a lot of time to harvest. The banana peppers that make such amazing pickled peppers. I think I've made about 12 pints of these so far. Got the paprika. We've been drying that and sticking it in a plastic bag to powder it all together. Cucumbers. Now these, it's not producing the way I need it to yet. This is the size that I like to make cucumbers out of. This is a Marketmore cucumber. It's not a pickling cucumber, but these stay really crispy. They're never bitter unless you let them get really drought stricken, and they're really tasty. So, the plants will start producing more here shortly, and then I'll harvest a ton this size and make pickles using my dill. You can already see how the seeds are starting to end up at the bottom. Then I'll just pull the husks out. Got tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. So overall, really good garden harvest. Makes me happy. So thank you for coming on this garden harvest with me. This is my favorite time of year to come out and be able to harvest everything. Let me know what you're harvesting in the comments below. If you like my videos, like and subscribe. I'll link some more gardening videos up at the top of the screen here. And I hope you have a wonderful garden adventure.